You have been gifted access to all of the top running shoe manufacturing institutions of the world. You can create any shoe that you want, but the rule is you must use components from existing shoes to create your ultimate shoe. There are no parameters. You could choose to build a carbon-plated racing shoe, a max cushion cruiser, anything in between. What would it be and why? Today, I'm answering that question for myself, and I've built one heck of a Frankenstein running shoe. First up, I went with geometry over everything else for my first component. It was the easiest thing to think of. I would very handily choose the Dynafish xiaonian for the best geometry, and that is what I would choose for my shoe. It's highly beveled in the rear and in the forefoot. The rocker is just very pronounced, and it creates this centralized landing platform in the midfoot that prioritizes mid to forefoot strike, but is accommodating for heel strikers because of how beveled the heel is as well. So it works for anybody. It literally is the perfect geometry for just about any foot strike, any running experience level for anybody. And it just rolls you along so nicely. So geometry wise, for me, absolute no-brainer, the rocker from the xiaonian. Weight is another big consideration. I like a lightweight shoe. We'll talk a little bit about what my Frankenstein shoe's purpose will end up fulfilling at the end of this video. I have a feeling it'll be a pretty underserviced category, or even potentially a not very popular category, but that's because I'm designing my shoe and it's designed specifically for me. The weight needs to be under 200 grams for my shoe. I know that that's light, that's feather light, and that's what I want it to be. So shoes that I'm drawing from for this are the, again, Dynafish xiaonian, which is about 200 grams. I'm not gonna be too fussed if it's like 205, if it comes out of the factory and it's 205. But Dynafish xiaonian and Antizone 2, both really good examples, as well as things like the Metaspeed Edge Tokyo, racing products, the Deviate Nitro Elite 4, all of those are under 200 grams. It's not a specific shoe that I'm drawing from for the weight, it's just the weight. And all of the elements that I've selected to comprise my shoe would add up to a weight of 200 grams. Like, we'll get into that more, but the things that I've selected for this list would naturally make the shoe 200 grams or under. The foam. Foam is a big one. This is gonna be maybe a surprise pick for some of you thinking I would go with the TPEE because I run in TPE a lot. Not so. It would be FF Turbo Squared from the Megablast. That is the foam that I would put in this shoe. It is so punchy. It seems to be more durable than a lot of the TPEs other than the Light Strike Pro that's in the Adios Pro 3 and the Evo SL. That's a very durable foam. It seems to be on par with that, the aliphatic TPU and the Megablast specifically. It's not an airy TPU, it's a more densely packed one, right? So that could contribute to weight in the final product. A lower stack and lower drop, specifically in the range of 30-34. Right, I want a 4 mil drop. I'm not gonna be incredibly picky about this. I would like that to be the stack height, but if it were like 36, 32, or even 35, 30, like if it was a 5 millimeter drop, I wouldn't be too fussed about it. Same if it were a 3 millimeter drop, that would be perfectly within the range of what I'm looking at. I do really well with lower drop, and I think it helps to strengthen my calves, and that's one of my strong suits already as a runner, so it would just work really well for me if the shoe that I get to create from all the factories in the world ended up being a lower drop shoe. Non-negotiable, easy pick, the laces. Everybody already knows it. I don't even need to say it out loud, but I will, because I want to drive this point home to running shoe manufacturers. There's no reason that the laces that you put on any of your performance shoes should not be serrated laces. They should all be serrated laces. This is something that pretty much all of the manufacturers have grasped at this point. They understand that, but I'm talking to like Adidas specifically. Put serrated laces on the performance shoes. Just do that, and then that's good. Thank you, please. No plates! No plates. So I'm drawing from, again, just the design of several of these shoes, probably predominantly the megablast and the platelessness, since I'm using sort of the foam from the megablast. The whole midsole construction could be also drawn from the megablast, other than the geometry of the midsole, which I don't think is very good. But yeah, no plates, ideally no shanks, especially if it's a firmer foam and it's lower stack. I don't think you'll need a shank to stabilize it. I'm trying to think design-wise how I would design a shoe. I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that probably some of these elements need to be in the shoes sometimes, but if it's a lower stack shoe, like I'm trying to design, and not that 3430 is particularly low, let's be real. It is low, though, for 2026. But I don't want any shanks, ideally. Here's a curveball, also from the Xiaonian. You can tell I like this shoe. The long eyelet chain. Weird one, but I've been really enjoying the added customization that gives to the upper. It lets you loosen it up a bit. Another shoe that sort of, I mean, it doesn't really have an extended eyelet chain, but it has a very widely variable tightness. Eyelet chain is the Deviate Nitro Elite 4. There's a lot of customization and play in the width of that shoe, so anything that's highly customizable from a lacing perspective, that's on my list for sure. Here's another one that might be polarizing to some people, but I want as minimal heel padding as you could get away with, and there are some shoes that do this really well. The Anta Zone 2, the Anta C2027, the Dynafish Xiaonian, actually especially the Metaspeed Edge Tokyo, all of those do an excellent job at having minimal heel padding and not affecting negatively the comfort of the shoe. And I think that we have the technology and the understanding these days to produce a very minimal heel without it doing anything negatively, with it only being for the positive and the weight savingsness that it brings about. The next one is, broadly speaking, that it should be foot shaped. And what I mean by that, let's not have a triangle shaped shoe. Let's not make it pointy in the forefoot. This is one that's optional. I want it, but it doesn't need to be a part of this shoe. I really like the extended foam that comes out the front of the Dynafish Xiaonian 1, the racing shoe from Dynafish. And it's not much, but it's a little ridge of foam that extends past the upper, and I think it gives you a little bit extra flingage. And it's, from all of the marketing copy, it's not actually the plate that's extending, like in the Fast R, that's the plate extending past the platform. That is kind of what I'm talking about, but done with foam instead of with a plate. So the Dynafish Xiaonian 1 would be the model for what I'm seeking in that particular component of the shoe. The outsole must be Puma grip. Best grip in the game, hands down. Easy answer. This is one of the easiest components of the shoe. Like, check that one off. And finally, the upper should be of the type that is used in the Deviate Nitro Elite 4. It is open and breathable, thin, extremely lightweight, but still comfortable, feels premium. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. If you wanted to make a hybrid of that and the Adios Pro 4, like an Adios Pro 4 with a bit more breathability in it, that would be an acceptable answer for me as well. But broadly speaking, I think the upper on the Deviate Nitro Elite 4 kind of nails it for this shoe and what this shoe would be. So now comes the time to try to dissect what is this shoe, what is this Frankenstein creation that I've built using all of the factories in the world. I think that it would end up being a speed day shoe, a zone 3 and higher shoe, like probably not for long runs, although I would try it for a long run. And yeah, it's not going to be the best class of shoe for most people. It's like a lot of people, it's low, right? That's going to be a deal breaker for some. It probably wouldn't sell very well, but that would be my ideal shoe right now. That's just what I would love to run in the most. And I want to hear two things from you all. I want to hear your thoughts on this experiment. I want you to create your own shoe based on what I just did here, right? So drop in the comments your created shoe, and also name the shoe that I just created and the shoe that you just created. So I guess 3 things. All right. Thank you all for being a part of this fun, wacky experiment. And as always, stay in motion.